were told to be neat, nice, and well-behaved. People said you should be perfect, but only the parts of you they liked. They said, smile, stay quiet, don't get angry, stay positive. But inside, you felt it, didn't you? That heavy feeling in your chest when you hide your real thoughts. That empty silence when you pretend you're fine. You learned how to stay, but disappear at the same time. You kept changing yourself to be what others wanted. You called it growing up. You pushed your feelings down and called it strength. But the truth is, those hidden parts, they're still inside you. They're still alive. They're still waiting for you to notice them. Pretending to be perfect is like wearing a mask, and masks make it hard to breathe. You've been living inside a version of yourself that doesn't feel real. You smile, but it feels fake. You try to be strong, but it leaves you exhausted. And deep down, you're tired. Tired of pretending. Tired of always being okay. Tired of carrying it all alone. But something inside you is waking up. It whispers, you weren't made to be perfect. You were made to be whole. Being whole means accepting all of you. The strong and the scared. The kind and the angry. The peaceful and the wild. It means saying, I can be soft and fierce. I can feel deeply and still be powerful. I don't have to hide who I am. You weren't meant to erase yourself just to fit in. You were meant to remember who you truly are. Maybe you forgot for a while. And that's okay. Forgetting is part of the journey too. But now, it's time to remember. Time to return to yourself. To listen to the parts of you that have been silent for too long. The parts they didn't want. The parts that make you real. Trying to be perfect feels like a trap. Sure, it might get you praise, but it costs you something much bigger. Your truth. Your peace. Being whole means letting go of the image. It means choosing real over perfect. It means resting when you're tired. It means telling the truth, even if your voice shakes. You don't need to be flawless. You just need to be you. They called it growing up, but really it meant leaving pieces of yourself behind. You were told to move on, to stop crying, to be strong. But how do you move on when part of you still hurts? You didn't really move on. You just locked the pain away. You shut the door on feelings that were too big, on dreams that didn't feel safe anymore. But the door never really locked, and what you tried to hide started showing up. In sadness you couldn't explain, in anger that came from nowhere, in emptiness that made no sense. The parts of you that were left behind are still calling out, not to cause trouble, not to be dramatic, just to be heard, to be seen, to be held. Those parts of you aren't bad, they're just hurt. They've been alone for too long. Ignoring them doesn't make them go away. They'll keep showing up until you finally stop and listen. Can you remember who you were before they told you to be quieter? Before they told you to shrink, to be nicer? Can you remember what made you laugh? What made you feel alive? That version of you is still there, still waiting, still hoping you'll come back. You don't have to be afraid of that part. You don't have to fix it. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is just sit with it, not judge it, just love it. Say to yourself, I know I left you behind, but I'm here now. Healing isn't about becoming someone new. It's about making peace with who you've always been. You're not broken, you're just unfinished. The pieces that feel lost, they're waiting for you to come back. Going inward isn't weakness, it's courage, it's slowing down, it's asking questions without easy answers. You've spent so long running from sadness that lingers, From anger you're afraid to feel, from fear of being seen as too much. But none of those feelings are your enemy. They are signs, messages from inside you, trying to get your attention. Going inward is like opening a door that's been locked for years. At first it's dusty and silent. It feels scary. But once your eyes adjust, you begin to see clearly. That's where real healing happens. Not outside, but deep inside. It's where you stop blaming the world for your pain and start asking, what is this pain trying to teach me? Maybe you'll hear, it hurts because you never felt safe enough to cry. Or, you push people away because it hurt too much when they left. Going inward means having these conversations with yourself, sitting quietly with the version of you that's still holding their breath, still waiting to be chosen. And in that silence, you begin to choose them. You begin to choose yourself. You don't have to fix everything today. You don't have to know all the answers. You just need to show up, sit with your story, let your truth rise, even if it's messy, because that mess, that's where your magic lives. You don't find your strength by running from your pain. You find it by walking with it, holding its hand and saying, I'm not afraid of you anymore. This is where healing begins. This is where wholeness begins. And it starts right here, with you. You've spent so much time trying to be what others expected that you forgot how to just be yourself. But you're starting to remember now, aren't you? The way your heart feels lighter when you stop trying to perform. The way your breath comes easier when you let yourself be real. Healing isn't about becoming someone else. It's about dropping the heavy layers you never needed in the first place. The layers of pretending, the layers of fear, the layers of shame. Underneath all of that, you are still here, whole, worthy, alive. You don't need to keep chasing a version of yourself that feels impossible to reach. You don't need to earn your place in the world. You were born with it. Every laugh, every tear, every dream, every fear, they are all part of you, and none of them make you less deserving of love. In fact, they make you more real, more human. You don't have to apologize for being sensitive, for needing time, for wanting connection, for longing for more. These are not flaws. These are signs that you're still in touch with your heart. The world will tell you to toughen up, to be harder, to care less. But maybe the real strength is in staying soft, in caring deeply even when it hurts, in showing up fully even when you're scared. You are not weak because you feel things deeply. You are strong because you refuse to stop feeling. And even when life gets heavy, even when you are tired, you still have that small light inside you. That spark that refuses to go out. Protect it. Honor it. It's the purest part of you. Sometimes healing looks like crying over something small because it's not really about that small thing. It's about everything you've been holding in. Sometimes healing looks like canceling plans because your soul needs rest more than it needs noise. Sometimes healing looks like setting boundaries, even if it disappoints others, because you finally realize your peace matters too. Healing isn't always pretty. It's not always a straight line. Sometimes it's messy. Sometimes it feels like you're going backward. But every step, even the shaky ones, are steps forward. You're not late. You are not lost. You are on your way. Healing asks you to be patient with yourself, to stop rushing, to stop comparing your path to everyone else's. Your journey is yours alone. It doesn't have to look like anyone else's. Maybe your timeline is different, because your story requires a different kind of strength. Maybe you needed the delays, the detours, the heartbreaks to build the depth you now carry. Trust your process. Trust your timing. There is no right way to heal. There is only your way. Some days you will feel strong. Other days you will feel fragile. Both are part of it. Both are okay. Let yourself be a living, breathing, changing being. Let yourself be new every morning if you need to. You don't owe anyone a consistent version of yourself. You owe yourself honesty. You owe yourself kindness. You owe yourself grace. And when you fall, because you will, fall gently. Fall into compassion, not criticism. Fall into learning, not shame. Remind yourself, it's okay to be a work in progress. It's okay to have bad days. It's okay to not have it all figured out. You are doing better than you think. Growth isn't about perfection. Growth is about staying in the process, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Maybe the most powerful thing you can do right now is not push harder, but soften deeper. Maybe you don't need to fight your feelings. Maybe you just need to listen. Sit with your anger. Sit with your sadness. Sit with your fear. Listen to what they are trying to tell you. Underneath every heavy emotion, there is a truth, a need, a wound asking to be healed. You're not weak for having these feelings. You're wise for being willing to face them. The truth is, real strength looks different than what the world often shows. Real strength is crying when you need to. Real strength is resting when you're tired. Real strength is asking for help when your hands are shaking. Real strength is being soft in a world that tries to make you hard. You are already strong. You always have been. You just forgot because you were too busy surviving. But now you are remembering, and that remembrance is sacred. It's a return to your true self. To the self that knew how to feel without shame, to the self that dreamed without limits, to the self that loved without fear. That self is not gone. That self is still within you, waiting for you to come back. Healing is not about fixing a broken thing. Healing is about meeting yourself exactly where you are and saying, I will stay with you. Healing is about choosing love over fear, again and again, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. You don't have to know exactly where you're going. You don't have to have all the answers. You just have to keep showing up. Tender, tired, brave, messy. And trust that every small act of self-love is enough. More than enough. It's building a new foundation inside you. It's creating a life rooted in truth, not fear. In freedom, not perfection. In love, not approval. And little by little, you will notice the change. You will notice the way you talk to yourself will soften. The way you treat yourself will become kinder. The way you hold space for your feelings will expand. You will begin to move through the world differently. Not as someone who is trying to prove their worth, but as someone who knows they already have it. This is not the end of your healing. This is just the beginning. There will be more waves, more lessons, more growing pains. But now you know you can survive them. You can breathe through them. You can trust yourself to hold yourself. You are not the broken pieces you once thought you were. You are the soul who is bravely gathering those pieces with tenderness and turning them into something beautiful, something whole, something real. You are not failing. You are healing. And healing, real, honest healing, is the most courageous thing you will ever do. You are not lost. You are just uncovering parts of yourself that you had forgotten, parts that got buried under expectations, fear, and old survival habits. You are peeling back the layers. You are remembering your real voice, your real feelings, your real dreams. It's not always easy. Healing rarely is. But every small step you take toward your true self is powerful. It matters. Even when it feels slow. Even when it feels messy. Even when it feels like you're walking in circles. Trust the process. Healing is not a straight line. It's a spiral. You come back to the same lessons again and again, each time with a little more wisdom, a little more strength. Sometimes it feels like you're falling back, but really you're going deeper, deeper into understanding, deeper into compassion for yourself, deeper into trust. Growth often feels like loss before it feels like gain. You have to let go of old identities, old dreams, old ways of being, and that can hurt. It can feel like losing yourself, but you're not losing yourself. You're shedding what was never really you. The real you is still here, waiting patiently, trusting that you'll find your way back. And you are. Every time you choose truth over approval, every time you choose rest over hustle, every time you choose kindness over judgment, you are coming home. The path of healing isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you've always been, underneath all the survival strategies, the masks, and the defenses. It's about reclaiming your softness, your strength, your light. You don't need to rush. There's no finish line. There's no final version of you to become. There's only deeper, truer layers to discover. Healing asks for your patience, your courage, and your love. It asks you to show up for yourself, again and again, even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. You deserve your own devotion. You deserve your own tenderness. You deserve your own forgiveness. Healing isn't just about mending the wounds others gave you. It's about mending the wounds you gave yourself when you thought you weren't enough. Be gentle with yourself. You are doing sacred work. You are doing brave work. You are choosing to break cycles that tried to break you. You are choosing to believe in yourself, even when the world taught you not to. You are choosing to heal, to hope, to love yourself back to life. That is not small work. That is not easy work. That is revolutionary work. You are a revolution. Every tear you cry, every boundary you set, every truth you speak, every time you choose yourself. It's all part of your revolution. You are not behind. You are not too broken. You are right on time. You are exactly where you need to be. Healing takes what it takes. Trust your pace. Trust your process. Trust your heart. You are doing better than you think. And even if you can't see it yet, even if it feels invisible, your healing is happening. Your roots are growing deeper. Your light is shining brighter. Your soul is remembering. And that matters more than you know. The world needs your healing. It needs your light. It needs your story. It needs your voice. Not the polished, perfect version. The real one. The honest one. The one that knows what it means to hurt and still choose hope. The one that knows what it means to fall and still rise again. The one that knows what it means to be human and still be holy. Your story matters. Your heart matters. You matter. And you're never alone on this journey. Others are walking their own paths of remembering, of healing, of coming home. Even if you can't see them, even if you feel like you're walking alone, you're part of a great river of souls returning to themselves. Flow with them. Trust the current. Trust yourself. You are not broken. You're becoming. You're not lost. You're finding your way. You're not too late. You're right on time. You're not too much. You're exactly enough. You're not forgotten. You're deeply, deeply loved. Healing is your birthright. Wholeness is your truth, and you are already on your way. So take another breath. Take another step. You don't have to do it perfectly. You just have to keep going. Keep choosing yourself. Keep coming home. You are worth it. You always have been, and you always will be.